space, our journey beyond the blue. For millennia, we looked up at the endless canvas of stars and wondered, what lies beyond that glowing horizon? What are those lights that pierce the night sky? Are we alone? This is the story of our greatest adventure, the story of humans in space, a journey not just of rockets and technology, but of dreams, courage, and curiosity. The forces that push humanity to leave the comfort of Earth and step into the cosmic unknown. Long before rockets, there were dreamers. Ancient civilizations studied the skies. Egyptians built pyramids aligned with stars. Babylonians charted planetary paths. And Greek philosophers imagined a universe where Earth floated among celestial spheres. But the dream of reaching the stars began to take real shape in the 20th century. As humankind learned to fly, we began to think, what if we could go higher? Higher than the clouds, higher than the atmosphere itself. The year was 1957. The Cold War divided the world into two, the United States and the Soviet Union. But their rivalry would spark something extraordinary. October 4th, 1957. A metallic sphere, no bigger than a beach ball, was launched from the Kazakh steppes. It carried no humans, just a simple radio transmitter that went beep, beep, beep across the skies. Its name was Sputnik 1, Earth's first artificial satellite. For the first time in history, humanity had sent something into space. The space race had begun. The Soviet Union took an early lead. They sent Laika, a stray dog from Moscow streets, into orbit aboard Sputnik 2. She didn't survive, but she became the first living creature to leave our planet. On April 12, 1961, the impossible happened. Yuri Gagarin, a young Soviet pilot, climbed into a tiny capsule atop a rocket called Vostok 1. The engines roared, the Earth shook, and seconds later, humanity broke free from gravity. For 108 minutes, Gagarin orbited Earth, looking down at his home planet and uttering words that would echo through time. "I see Earth. It is so beautiful," Yuri Gagarin said, awe-inspired. When he landed safely, the world changed forever. Humans were now a spacefaring species. The United States, determined not to fall behind, launched Project Mercury. 7 astronauts, sailors known as the Mercury 7, Ardallas, became national heroes. Among them, John Glenn became the first American to orbit Earth in 1962. President John F. Kennedy declared with inspiration, "We choose to go to the moon, not because it is easy, but because it is hard." The goal was to put a man on the moon before the decade was out. That challenge would define a generation. The Apollo program was an engineering miracle. Over 400,000 people worked together. Scientists, engineers, mathematicians, and pilots to solve problems no one had ever faced. In 1969, after years of failures and tragedies, the world held its breath. July 20th, 1969. From 240,000 miles away, a voice crackled through radio waves. "Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed," Apollo 11 astronauts said triumphantly. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin stepped onto the lunar surface. Their footprints remain there to this day, silent symbols of human determination. "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," Neil Armstrong declared iconically. For a brief moment, humanity was united under one sky. After 6 successful lunar landings, the last astronaut left the moon in 1972. But the journey didn't end. It evolved. We built space stations like Skylab and later the International Space Station. We sent robotic explorers, Voyager, Pioneer, and Curiosity, farther than we could travel ourselves. Voyager 1, launched in 1977, is now over 24 billion kilometers from Earth, carrying a golden record, a message to any life that might one day find it. Orbiting 400 kilometers above Earth, the ISS is humanity's home in space. Built by over 15 nations, it's a symbol of what we can achieve when we work together. Astronauts aboard the ISS experience 16 sunrises and sunsets every day. They grow plants in microgravity, study how space affects the human body, and test technologies for future missions to Mars. Life there is both ordinary and extraordinary. They exercise, eat dehydrated food, and sleep in floating bags, all while moving at 28,000 kilometers per hour around the Earth. But space is not kind. The vacuum outside is deadly. Radiation, muscle loss, and psychological strain are constant threats. Astronaut Scott Kelly spent a year aboard the ISS. When he returned, his body had aged differently from his twin brother on Earth. His DNA, his muscles, even his mind, all showed the marks of life beyond gravity. Yet, despite the challenges, they continue to go. Because every experiment, every orbit, is a step towards something bigger. In the 21st century, a new era began, not driven by governments, but by visionaries. Names like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Richard Branson made space their next frontier. Companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Virgin Galactic turned space into a commercial dream. Reusable rockets, once science fiction, now land themselves on ocean platforms. The Falcon 9, Dragon, and Starship systems are changing what's possible. No longer is space only for astronauts. It's becoming accessible to civilians, researchers, and soon, tourists. NASA's Artemis program is preparing to send humans back to the moon, this time to stay. The first woman and the next man will walk on lunar soil, and from there, we'll build a lunar base, a gateway to deeper space. The Lunar Gateway Station, orbiting the moon, will serve as a launch point for missions to Mars. The moon will become our stepping stone to the stars. Mars, the red planet, a place of dust storms, freezing deserts, and ancient mysteries. We've sent rovers, Spirit, Opportunity, Curiosity, and Perseverance to explore its surface. They found signs that water once flowed there. If water existed, maybe life once did too. The next step, send humans. NASA, SpaceX, and international partners aim for a crewed mission to Mars within the next 2 decades. It will take 6 months to get there, and they will live in isolation, millions of kilometers from home. They won't just visit, they'll try to build, to grow food, recycle water, and create habitats in a world where the sun sets blue and dust devils dance across red plains. Why do we do it? Why risk lives, spend billions, and chase the stars? Because exploration is in our DNA. From crossing oceans to climbing mountains, humanity has always looked toward the horizon and wondered what's next. Space is not the final frontier, but the next frontier, Chris Hadfield said, with inspiration in his voice. Imagine the 22nd century. Humans live on Mars. Children are born in space colonies. We mine asteroids for resources, harness solar energy from orbit, and travel beyond our solar system. Probes like Voyager, carrying our whispers across the stars, might one day be answered. And perhaps, somewhere out there, another civilization is listening. From space, Earth is a fragile blue marble, floating in endless blackness. No borders, no nations, no wars, just one world. Every astronaut says the same thing. When you see Earth from space, you realize how small we are and how connected, an astronaut said, reflectively. That's the true gift of space exploration. Not just technology or knowledge, but perspective. It reminds us that humanity shares one home, one destiny. We began this journey staring at the night sky, full of wonder. Now we walk among the stars. Each rocket launch, each orbit, each footprint on alien soil, 001 they pretend to, all chapters in the same story. The story of who we are and who we might become. The cosmos is calling, and humanity is listening. From orbit to Earth, the hidden gifts of space. When we look up at the night sky, our eyes are drawn to the mysteries beyond the stars. Yet the greatest story of space may not be what lies out there, but what has come back down to Earth. Our journey into the cosmos has not only expanded human imagination, but transformed every aspect of life on our planet. This is the story of how space exploration, humanity's boldest adventure, quietly reshaped the world we live in. The journey began in 1957 with the faint beeping of Sputnik 1, the first artificial satellite launched by the Soviet Union. That tiny sphere didn't just orbit Earth, it changed history. The space age was born, igniting a technological revolution that would ripple through science, industry, medicine, and daily life. In the years that followed, rockets soared higher, satellites multiplied, and humans walked on the moon. As astronauts looked down at the fragile blue sphere below, scientists began to realize that the technologies developed for space could improve life back home in ways no one had imagined. One of the first and most visible gifts of space exploration came through global communication. Before satellites, messages between continents took days or weeks. But in 1962, NASA launched Telstar 1, the first active communication satellite. For the first time, television signals, telephone calls, and data could travel instantly across the Atlantic. News from Europe could be seen live in America, and voices could travel farther than ever before. That moment was the birth of global connectivity, the foundation for the internet-driven world we now inhabit. Today, thousands of communication satellites orbit Earth, powering our phones, GPS, television, live broadcasts, and even the small transaction that pays for your morning coffee. Every call, every weather alert, every real-time video link depends on technology born from the dream of space. Perhaps no contribution has been more transformative for understanding our own planet than Earth observation satellites. The first astronauts who gazed back from orbit were struck by the view. A delicate world wrapped in a thin atmosphere, surrounded by darkness. That perspective changed how we saw ourselves and sparked a mission to monitor and protect our planet. Modern satellites like Landsat, Copernicus, and GOES constantly scan Earth's surface, measuring weather patterns, tracking deforestation, mapping ocean temperatures, and detecting pollution. These orbiting eyes help predict hurricanes, monitor glaciers, detect forest fires, and assess crop yields. Thanks to them, we can respond to natural disasters faster, study climate change with precision, and understand the heartbeat of our planet in ways that were once impossible. Space technology became not just a tool of exploration, but a guardian of Earth itself. Another invisible yet powerful legacy of space is navigation. The